Good evening, everyone. My name is Jayson. I'm 36 years old, and when I was about 30 years old, I became homeless. Even though I was homeless, I still maintained a job, but it wasn't getting enough funds to get an apartment. I was getting barely anything to eat and just getting enough to get by week to week. I was working in a banquet industry and only working 3 to 4 days a week. I worked long hours and the salary was not consistent and not every day.
Inside pocket.
Also, I had to split the tips with other workers. Due to the seasonal work in the banquet industry, after the holiday there was less work for the following months. Sometimes I would not work for 2 to 3 months.
In the very beginning.
At the time, I was not getting along with my family. I felt I had nobody in my corner. I had to seek what to eat day to day and also where to sleep. I was sharing a little room with another friend and didn't have a mattress. I had to sleep on the floor and ended up being diagnosed with scoliosis. I have back issues to this day. Basically, I was homeless since I wasn't paying rent for the room and my friend still allowed me to sleep in his room. Eventually, I ended up on the street once the living arrangement did not work out with my friend. During the day, I would get an all-day bus pass for $3 and would ride the bus from Port Chester to Stanford to stay warm and get some rest. I would do this back and forth all day. At night, it was more difficult because of the cold, since the bus schedule ended at 10 p.m. I slept at the Stanford train station, sitting down, and the Port Chester train station, standing up, basically outside since they didn't have an indoor train station. One day I was ready to give up when I haven't slept or eaten in 4 to 5 days. I had an appointment with Optimum Health in Stanford and I saw my psychiatrist.
So you're leaving before we start this?
They give me information on New Covenant Center and give me information on how to reach Lisa Hines Simpson to obtain food and clothes. They also give me information on Pacific House for shelter.
In my pocket.
I came to New Covenant Center and met with Lisa, and she gave me food, clothes, socks, boxers, gloves, shirt, hygiene items, toothpaste, toothbrush, and a jacket. I was scared and nervous because all of this was new to me. Once I met with Lisa and I did the orientation, she made me feel comfortable and good. I cried at that meeting. I felt that I had a little bit of a family at the New Covenant Center. Prior to coming to New Covenant, I didn't have anyone to talk to, no one to discuss my problems with, and now I finally had someone to listen to me. I felt welcome when I first came to New Covenant Center. I would do anything for Lisa since I was given clothes and food at the center. I'm honored to help. I want to give back to you guys, saved my life. I look at New Covenant Center as having a home to go and eat. I don't have to worry about a place to eat. Then the pandemic hit and I lost my job. I was trying to figure out how to get my life back on track, but the challenge of finding food was finished. I didn't worry about hunger anymore thanks to New Covenant Center. I was just worrying about getting a job, getting my life back on track, and getting housing. I knew that the shelter wasn't a place for me. I didn't want to live there my whole life. During the pandemic, I was coming to New Covenant Center to get food every day. I would stand outside in the line at the time. I was still living at the shelter and then got moved to the Motel 8. I stayed about a year and then worked for the homeless shelter. I started working there by giving out New Covenant Center meals to the guys in the hotel. I picked up lunches, then distributed them to the Pacific House clients.
Is there anybody on this side?
If it wasn't for New Covenant Center, where would shelters get lunches and dinner? New Covenant Center was the main force, like the Army base, for getting meals. During COVID, I was able to get hot dinner. You guys held it down for everybody, even though the difficult pandemic time. I'm proud now to be able to help others because I'm an outreach worker for Pacific House. I'm working with New Covenant Center every day, picking up food for the clients. I changed my whole perspective about my work, going from working in the food industry to working to social work, helping people since I knew I had it in me to be a good at helping others. Basically, I got into the social work because once I saw you guys giving out food, water, and clothes to stay warm. If it wasn't for both of you guys, New Covenant Center and Pacific House, I would be dead. Nobody should ever be ashamed or embarrassed of being homeless because if I did it, anybody can do it. I'm not embarrassed by my story. I'm excited to be speaking with you to tell my story. God will help me and bless me with everything that I need. My grandparents inspired me, my great faith. I know that folks like you and New Covenant Center will be there for us when we need help during difficult times. I would like to thank New Covenant Center and Lisa because she was the first one that made me feel like I had a family again. I'm sorry. Now I know why it's important for people to give to charity like New Covenant Center. Please keep this center running because your donation keeps me and others alive during our most difficult time. The worst is over for me, and now I have a good future ahead of me. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was great.